Our goal is to keep this nice and focused and actionable and simple. So grab a notebook, grab a pen, hydrate, detox. Awesome. I already drank mine. Sometimes I'll drink a couple in a day, but I probably should space it out a little bit. And our hope today was to talk about senior advocate, though, and just really demystify and offer some building blocks to kind of your first rank advancement, kind of the first way that, and we'll talk about why that's important. And we're going to cover a bunch of different ways to get to that goal. So while I start getting the slides ready here, why don't you put in the chat, when did you, I know everyone's pretty new, which is great. But when did you start when did you kind of join the team? Was it this month, last month, October, November? And maybe you can offer too, like what has been, if there has been a roadblock or something holding you back from that first, getting that first rank, what has it been? And we'll make sure we circle back and ensure that you have all those tools there. So, okay, we do have slides to keep us moving forward. And let me know if you can see the slides. Thumbs up. Okay, perfect. It was not showing me. So I'm going to just kick us off and say welcome. We have this amazing team hub where there are so many amazing leaders, and we're all co-leading together. So it's really fun to get to know everyone else's teams and really get to lean in like one big strong team. And so what some of the leaders and I today wanted to pull together some of our ideas and what we've found to be effective best practices, and also some we pulled from other leaders, and including on other teams, of different ways that they have gotten themselves to SAV or led others to SAV. So we've got Becca coming in from Florida, Jace coming in from Southern Utah. I am currently living in Vermont. Jess is in Coeur d'Alene, Northern Idaho, and Courtney is in Michigan, Ann Arbor, right? And let's just talk a little bit about it. So I think sometimes it's like, well, what does that even mean? So you hear SAV. SAV stands for Senior Advocate. All of the ranks at Hugh and Grace have a nice little acronym. And so a lot of it is like learning a new language. And one of the cool things about this rank with Hugh and Grace is that you can actually build to your first kind of like this foundational rank without a team. You can also build a team, but you can also get there all on your own through sales. And I think that that's really powerful. A lot of people came from other companies where you have to like have a team to be able to rank advance, right? Or to have to sign up your mom and your husband and end up paying 3 times to get started, just to kind of move and open your doors for business and start accessing some of those volume, that passive volume. You don't have to do that here. And that's one of the things that I really fell in love with the most. A lot of people love using social media. I have loved it and I've hated it throughout the years. I kind of go on a roller coaster. It is a necessary tool in a lot of ways, but it also doesn't have to be the only tool. And sometimes it has felt like in the past for me that it was the only tool that I really had to grow my business, to find new people. But with this business model and with this company, there are so many ways to build and achieve and grow without using social media at all if you want to. I know of some people that are like, I don't even want to have my face on social ever again. You can still win and grow here, which I think is really, really cool. We're going to dig into that. And then I really want you to be in the green financially from the beginning, right? And not ending up having to spend more than you're making, because let's just face it, that isn't really sustainable. And that's not like, when you're here for a business, that's not really best business practices long-term to like really be upside down financially. And one of the things about SAV is that you are rewarded by Hugh and Grace with money and product credit, especially in your boost period, for just earning this first rank advancement. So what does that look like? If you looked at our compensation plan at a glance, it's a little pixelated because I just took that little section of the bigger thing. If you can see my picture of the compensation plan at a glance does live on our team page and the Google Drive, and it looks, and the back office. But if you can see here, it's personal volume and organizational volume. So at 800 organizational volume or personal volume, you are at SAV. You will unlock that second level bonus, and now you are earning on 2 different passive levels. You also earn, when you hit SAV every month, $50 in product credit. How cool is that? Free product that you're using and that is helping you grow your business for continuing to just maintain this rank. And that'll continue on as mentor and associate mentor. And then those product credits go up in higher value as you move up in ranks. And then in your first 3 full months, this is where we wanted you to really understand that there's extra money on the table that you are getting rewarded with, and you can really leverage while you are just getting started, and really see a lot of positive cash influx. So you're probably really familiar with the boost. This is what it looks like, but we wanted to highlight that for every month that you're in boost that you achieve SAV, that's an extra $100. That is in addition to whatever you earn with those sales and with those enrollments. It's just an extra $100. And that could be $400 for, so boost is your first month you enroll and then your first 3 full months. So that could be $400 extra just for getting started. Is there any questions about that before we move on to some strategies on how to do that? Okay, any questions on what SAV really is? So it's 800 in volume. PV and OV is the same with Hue and Grace. If something costs $100, and someone paid $100 for a product, it's $100 in PV, it's $100 in OV. So it's really simple. I like that this is just really simple. Okay, passing the mic.
Let me make sure I can talk. This is me and Becca. So I'm Jay. Nice to meet you. I did have one quick question about your last slide, Jamie. So if somebody has 800 in PV, right, they can still hit SAV.
Correct. Yep. So your PV also counts as your OV. So if you have 100 in PV, you will also see that you have 100 in OV. So if you have, as Jace jumps into this, is a perfect, thank you for clarifying there. As you jump into this personal sales, everything that you do through that Jason and Becca are going to walk you through, that will count as your PV and your OV, your organizational volume and personal volume.
Yeah, that's one thing that I love that's different about Hue and Grace is all of your personal volume, personal sales, personal purchases count towards those goals, which is amazing. Becca, where are you? I can't see you. Okay. Do you want to start?
Sure.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm Becca. I want to echo what Jace said because I think that's something that is such a mindset shift for anybody that's coming over from body, is that there's so much growth, recognition, bonuses, things you can earn that are really just based on volume and not based on necessarily having to grow a really big team right away. So if that's something that is a sticking point for you, this is an incredibly great fit because this company's bonuses, this company's trips, really, I mean, the majority of it can be done just by you connecting people with products. And I think that just takes a weight off, I think, a little bit, to know that it really is volume focused. So one of the things that I found really, really, really helpful is this Hello 10 that everybody gets. So when you're an advocate, you can send this code Hello 10 to any new customer or new advocate who is going to place an order, and they get $10 off their order of $50 or more. And it's just like almost like if you had like an affiliate code that you could give, but as an advocate. And this never runs out. You can literally use this with every single person. And it just makes them feel like, you're giving them a little something extra, that you're kind of caring for them in another way. It also aligns really beautifully with how Hue and Grace is this incredible hybrid modern system of affiliate plus. So I love that. So then you can also recommend subscribe and save, and that gives them an option for an additional 10% off. So you have so many things in your disposal to help people feel like they're getting a really incredible deal by working with you. Jace, you want to do the next one?
Yeah, I love that. I love that you can be like, here's $10 off and here's 10% off. And if you become an advocate, here's 25% off. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Like, it's nice. It's refreshing to have just those things at our disposal at any point to just give away. That's awesome.
Mhm.
So one thing that I am really key on is finding the most simplistic way to achieve goals. I have ADD, my brain's everywhere. I can't focus on a million things at one time. So I'm always looking for the most baseline things to maximize the comp plan. Everything that I teach is geared around doing that. So one thing that I just wanted to mention really quick with SAV and why it's so important to hit is because a lot of people look at rank as recognition. They look at it as identity within an organization. They look at it in a lot of different ways, but at the end of the day, rank is really a monetary value. Rank is just a monetary valuable asset waiting for you to kind of unlock that. So when you look at it that way, it kind of helps you try and achieve it in a different mindset. So for me, one of the things that I think really simplifies it if you get overwhelmed is just picking one product and really trying to master the sale of that one product. So hydrate detox, just say you take that product specifically and set a goal to sell it 8 times, right? And instead of like trying to go all over the board and all over the place, just really simplify in on one specific thing and sell it and sell it and sell it and sell it and sell it, because that practice, that repeat, that talking about it, that getting stuck in conversation and overcoming obstacle in that specific product, you will master that sale really quickly if you do it repetitively. So my recommendation, if you do get overwhelmed, is just to bring it down to one thing, focus on that until you've mastered that sale. And then maybe the next month, pick a different product. And that's a really great way also to just kind of build your own confidence and leadership skills, teach other advocates, or just continue that repetitive behavior again and again, month after month. It's sustainable and duplicatable. It's just really a simple way to zero in if you're overwhelmed.
Mhm.
The next one.
Yeah, and going along the same lines of that, you can work with averages. So one of the really incredible things about Hue and Grace is how data driven the company is. So we know that the average customer order is $130, and that's just how it works out. And so if you divide 800 by 130, it's just about 6 people. It's like 6.13 and then like a ton of numbers. So if 8 sounds scary to you, then you can even jump to this next one where you go, okay, well, the average person orders 130. So it's really only 6 people. Plus, I'm probably going to order something of my own. So that's even a little bit less people. And so that's just a really cool way to reverse engineer in your mind. Numbers like 800 can sound really big and scary and ominous when we don't have them chunked down into what they really mean for us in the day to day. So really it means 6 people, and 6 people not even going out and like filling their cart. This is just 6 people getting like a very moderate, average, modest size order. So what tends to happen, and everybody that's here leading can probably nod their head in agreement, is people get in there to shop, and then they're just like, "Ooh, I want to try the lip balm. Ooh, I want to try the soap," and they're like adding more random little things. So you can just kind of like work with that average in your head, and even pass that on to your own advocates to help them understand.
Yeah. Okay, so if you do want to get your feet on the ground and start branching into like your warm market or just like testing the waters a little bit first, I think hosting a little test group for your friends and family is a really simple way to do that. I think approaching it like that is different than asking them to just go buy a ton of stuff. I think, again, for me, the more authentic your interactions and conversations with people are, the easier this is going to be for you to approach. So when you think about inviting, or when you think about sharing, the products or the company for the first time or whatever. It's really important, honestly, to just think through the relationship you have with those people when you are doing warm market stuff. So hosting a little test group for friends and family, I think number one, really set a goal for the group. I think that's a mistake that a lot of people make. They want to do this hosting thing. They want to like branch out, but they don't have a goal that they're working towards that keeps them motivated and working towards that goal. They just sort of go in and out of emotion as the group either fades or crushes it. You know what I mean? And that's a hard place to live in this business. It's so much easier to be like, okay, I'm going to try and get 10 of my family members to try one of these products and give me a testimonial. So it can be a group text. Hey, everybody, I started with this brand new company. I'm really nervous, right? Like, be honest, I'm really nervous about this new venture. I've been doing this other thing for X amount of time. And here I am starting over, however you want to approach it, and just say, this is my website. Can everyone please go look at it? I need feedback. That's the phase of this business that I'm in, is gathering feedback, gathering interest, understanding what attracts people product wise. Like even just having your mom or your sister or your dad or brother being like, oh my gosh, the body polish is what I'm drawn to the most. And you're like, that's so interesting. I would not have thought that, right? Like, but you're constantly learning and looking for that information. So host a little family party, do a taste test, do a product test, whatever it is. Group. I live away from my family, so it was easy to be like, here's my website. Will you please go look at it? If there's something that looks interesting, let me know what interests you. And that led to them all being like, this looks interesting. This looks interesting. And then me being able to have conversations about those things and closing those sales. Right. And then that way you kind of just softly branch into this, what I call is a soft launch, just really testing the water and allowing yourself some practice.
Yeah. And that's such a great way of just getting into the motion of talking about what you're doing, because when we have something new, our nervous system automatically is nervous about it, and so it feels like this insurmountable mountain to just get the words out of your mouth. So this is a very soft launch way of just getting your body used to talking about it, and then it gets easier and easier. Another version of hosting is you could do an in-person launch party and setting that goal for 800, and then you can just make it interactive. So something that I did was I bought a couple bags of the bath salts, and I went to a local apothecary shop that has like make your own tea. And I got some lavender, some rose, just like dried plants like that I knew were organic and everything. And I let people build their own little bath mix. And I just got little containers from Amazon. And I bought the bath salts with my own account, which helped my PV and OV, which helped me to lock in SAV. But then it also was just an incredible, fun way to have everybody sitting around a table, like talking about how much they liked how it smelled naturally and how it didn't even need anything. And then some people would choose rose, some people would choose lavender. And it was just anything to make you feel more comfortable and everyone else feel more comfortable, and make it fun. Like, what do you like to talk about? What do you like to do? So that's another kind of fun way to do an in-person one, where you can kind of have like favors that you could have people take home so that they're getting to experience the products. And then if you want to screenshot this before we move on to the next slide, here's just some local community ideas, thinking outside the box of just the people you know, because there are so many different people in our local communities that these products in our catalog can serve. So the cleaning system, incredible for real estate agents. I actually have a real estate agent who's looking into buying a kit for each of her closings, because you know how real estate agents will like leave little gifts. And I was like, that's the cutest housewarming gift. How brilliant. And so that could be a good one. Consumables for yoga studios, the collagen, now that it comes in stick packs, also for coffee shops, co-working spaces. Those are great. The full set for friends and family share basket. This is something that our Crossline team told us that they do, is they'll buy a full set and put it in a really pretty basket. And then for their local friends and family, they'll basically take the basket to their house, and it's full size everything. And they let them keep it for 2 to 3 days. And they say, keep it, try everything like it's yours. and then I'll come and pick it back up. And that way they get to try everything without you like right there over their shoulder in their own house, in their own life, and they can figure out which things they love the most. And then you can help them order those things.
I love that.
That
I
was
did want
oh, go ahead, Jace.
Go ahead. No, you're ahead. Go ahead.
No, finish up the slide. I just wanted to say something before we transition.
Oh, then say it, because I think I was going to transition into the next one.
Okay. So one of the things that I think the best gift we can give ourselves is we put on our business caps is this permission to just go for it. I wrote on my whiteboard, as I build it, they will come. And I wrote that before I even, like, as I'm starting with Hue and Grace, I wrote it because I knew I was like, I'm going to trust fall into this. I don't know if anyone's trust falling with me. And I think sometimes, especially if we're coming over from a different programming, a different community, a different way of building a business, right? We are really conditioned to think I have to do this with a team. I have to do this with a team. And while that is ultimately our goal, you don't have to do this with a team here. And so a lot of people are waiting until they find their people, right? They're waiting until they find their team to start running. When this is a perfect way, you can just go for it all on your own and nothing, you don't have, like, the lack of a team is not holding you back here. There's like a bazillion ideas here and even more, but I want you to give yourself permission to say, like, as I build this, as I own this, and I love that Jace mentioned like that rank is also, it's kind of your street cred too. And I failed to mention at the beginning, like as you rank up and you own this business and launch it yourself, people will get to celebrate you, and people will, they don't know what SAV means, but they see you being successful and they see you winning and you being celebrated. And then that builds that like street cred, right? So I love that this, and before, and I'll pass it back to Jace, but I did forget to say, we are doing some fun. We have about $100 in $10 gift cards that we are giving away today. 50, but while on the call, 50 with the challenge that you'll have it through the weekend to complete. But the way you do that is by connecting with these ideas. I want you to be thinking like, so in the chat and in our breakouts at the end, start sharing like with questions and engagement, but I want you to start thinking of like what this idea will look like. If you've got a real estate agent, put their name in the chat. If you've got an IV bar or a yoga studio that just pop into your brain, put it in the chat. You write it, it becomes reality. So get it out of your head and like start like owning and internalizing what you're connecting with here. And then we will pick 5 winners from like the most active and engaged people at the very end, and then I'll explain how the other 50 is being given away. All right, Jace, take it away.
Okay, let's go to the next slide. Becca, did you have anything else on this one? Okay, I just wanted to start this one with a really simple mindset shift that I think a lot of people get stuck in. They come into these businesses as consumers, like all of us do, right? We use the product, we love the product, and that's why we want to share it. But the danger becomes when you don't switch that consumer mindset to ownership mindset. And when you are running this side of the business where you don't want to build a team and you really personally just want to grow and work on your own thing and you're independent and focus on retail, whatever it is, like it's important for every single person, even if you are building a team, to really step into that ownership mindset of I'm the owner of this business. I'm not just a consumer. It's so important because when you invest in your business, right, you invest differently as an owner than you would as a consumer. You purchase things. I love the phrase, you have to spend money to make money. Not a lot of people understand that, but it's the truth. And it's something that is such a valuable tool. And sometimes we get stuck in this idea that investing or spending our own money is counteractive or counterintuitive to what we're trying to do. And it's the opposite. It's like what we were saying on the last slide, like making that big bundle basket, right? Like that's a big investment. But if you think about how it's going to operate within your community or within your circle and how many sales that could generate and how much product introduction that can bring, like that's a real ownership kind of mindset. And like Jamie was saying, if you just like really own it and you really put those goals out there, those things start to compound over time. And as you start trying things, you start finding things that work. So focusing on your personal sales, this is, I think, so much like really just getting creative, especially in the beginning. One of our co-leaders in our team, Amy, created this little grid of just the compound effect of sales and how to look at it and what the earnings and what those numbers kind of look at. So Becca, you can kind of dive into this a little bit if you want and just kind of add to that, but this is a great screenshot.
Yeah, I was actually just going to say, take a screenshot of this, because this is one of those things that we like, you could spend time going into. We don't need to use all our time like breaking it all down, but just having it to where you can look at it as a reference will be really, really, really helpful, just so you can kind of know.
Okay, Jess.
Okay. Sorry, I was having a hard time unmuting. Hi, everybody. My name is Jessica. I'm here in North Idaho, and I'm going to touch on working with a team. So for those of you who like the idea of partnering with other people, and maybe you're coming from another company where you've done this before, and you recognize the residual income, the passive income potential, but also it's really fun to do this with your friends. And if you have at all talked to anyone about their hormones, how many of you know someone in your life that has struggle with their hormones or mess up hormones? And you're like, girl, when you're PMSing, maybe don't talk to me. Or it is everywhere, right? My background is actually in nursing. I'm a nurse, but I specialize in holistic health. So I've been having these conversations since, well, 2009, I would say. And so the need is real. And when you identify, and this is what I love about our company, is the mission and the vision and the heart behind it. And there's such a huge problem that we are bringing a solution for, right? To help support people. And so when you start with that intention and that heart, your desire is naturally going to want to be to share it with people. And the financial element to this is just such a blessing for so many of us, that we can really make a difference and be able to provide for our families at the same time. So with that heart, I know that many of us, I started with Hugh and Grace the end of December, so I'm real fresh as well. But I've been building a business of my own for in this type of business model for over 8 years. And I was able to build a team, and it was such a blessing. So I know that coming into this, there can be this hesitancy to build a team when you have no idea how to do it. And I want to encourage you that you only need to go first. You need to take the first step, and then you teach other people how to take the first step. You don't know how to take you don't need to know how to take 100 before you can teach someone else how to do this. And so you just learned in the last, handful of minutes how you can do this. I love the chat that's blowing up of all these amazing ideas that people are like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this. I know someone with a yoga studio or a coffee shop. Now you teach somebody else, and that is how you build a team, right? And so that is the first point that we want to share with you, is to teach your team and foster independence. Teach them how to be resourceful. And you can do that through one-on-one phone calls, one-on-one Zooms, or maybe you get your girlfriends together, or you get a handful of people together and you do this on a Zoom with a group of people. Teach them how to, actually, James, I'm going to kick this over to you if you want to talk real quick about how to launch a group with your advocate.
Yeah, so Courtney and I both made templates for this. You don't even have to, you can just literally copy and paste, plug and play, but basically open a private Facebook group that is now your sales funnel. It is your onboarding ramp. And as you're talking about this with people, as you're posting about it, you can pull people or add people into this group, and really feel free to share and talk 24/7 about Hugh and Grace. And especially a lot of people, like a lot of times we don't want to like spam our newsfeed or go, like do a ton of that on forward facing, right? We can start to tease it and then pull people into a private group. And that has been probably the most impactful thing I've done to launch myself. People can actually, I link the group even 3 months later in many posts and stories. People just continue to add themselves in there. I've organized all of the posts into guides. They can learn about the products. They can learn about the compensation plan. They can learn about Hugh and Grace as a company. They can learn about my personal story and why I decided to partner here. And it's all there. And then as new deals and incentives or prize, as new things are happening, I can continue to add in there. I know Courtney continues to lead, thank customers in there, offer thank you gifts and incentives, the stuff like that. So it is a really nice, just continually growing place for customers and prospective advocates just to keep hearing it. It keeps pinging in their newsfeed. They keep seeing stuff float past them. And a lot of times it takes people a little while to get to that yes, right? It's a great way to know to like organize your list. I know everyone on my list is in that group, so I can continue to like check in with them there. It's just a way to continue to work people towards that. And then sharing testimonies in there, sharing as I've gotten more, like if the news article comes out or Hugh and Grace is featured in Forbes or whatever. It's just a really nice, you have a captive audience who have opted into learning about what you're doing. And it's just another way to keep stuff in front of them. And it's all, like I said, templated for you. You can create your own, but that's also doesn't have to be, you can use our words and edit or use them word for word and just have that space. I think for my new advocates, I've really nudged them to all have to do this, even if they didn't really have anyone to add initially, because then they had that space when people are ready, it becomes a third-party tool, but really it builds confidence for them. It builds confidence to be able to lead and sell and to talk about this in a place that's a lot less scary than live on Facebook or live on Instagram, which for me, if someone had told me 10 years ago, my first month as a Beachbody coach, that I needed to go live and tell the world what I was doing, I would have been like, hard no, I'm out. But now I could, but that was not the me of 10 years ago, would not have been able to do that without having like full implosion. So hopefully that's a quick little overview there.
Can I just add one piece to that group part? So if you're somebody that's like maybe coming from a space where you're used to having like a community, I think that's a great way to build that too. So like it's a way to bring people in to introduce, what it is that you're sharing about these products, but also you could build it into a community that's really kind of tied with whatever it is that you stand for, right? Like I have mine, I haven't quite figured out how I'll use that community ongoing, but like I'm trying to stick to the things that people were already following me for. I'm continuing to share recipes and mom life and all of that stuff. So it doesn't have to just be like a product push page. Keep it in mind as like it's building a community of like your most loyal customers, essentially.
I love that. And I also wanted to reiterate that this is, when Jamie said this is templated for you, you have your own template that Jamie created for you to put your own spin on and you to put your name on. However, you're going to learn so much through that. Like it's so value packed, because I know a lot of you may be thinking, well, I don't even know what makes Hydro Detox unique yet, or I don't even know what makes the face serums unique, but I know that I really enjoy them, or I'm excited to try them. Maybe you haven't even gotten your products yet. You're going to learn a lot through that template. And it's such a blessing because then you get to learn and then teach it. And when we teach things is when we really soak it in and absorb it. And our confidence grows knowing that, wow, this is really different. This is how this is different than that. And that will come with time. So that part is just so phenomenal and so huge. And then so over here on the right side of your slide are different ways that you can work smarter, not harder. And these are different ways that you can reach Senior Advocate, SAV, with that 800 OV. So it could be you plus one other advocate. So this is how I started. I came in knowing that I wanted to build a business. And when I was talking with my husband about this, like, okay, we're going to do this. Yeah, we're going to do this. Okay, what package should I start with? And he said, well, it's a no-brainer. You need all the products in order to be talking about them. And so why don't you get the possibility set? And so that's what I started with. And then I told my mom about this and she looked at the website and said, oh my gosh, no brainer. I want the possibility set. And then in like an hour, I became an SAV. I didn't even know what that was at the time, but that was how it just naturally flowed. And then it was my grandmother. Oh yeah, that's what she wanted. And so when you think about this, it's kind of a natural progression when you're learning about how amazing this company is and what we offer. The next option would be like you plus a customer plus an advocate. You can read here in the breakdown of how that equals up to 800 PV, which is awesome. GC here stands for gift card. So if you want to run a gift card promotion and you're going to send that out to your, your first customer or your first advocate, that's the beauty of running your own business, is that you get to develop these incentives and market them however you want to. Next option, you plus 2 advocates. So you have 100 personal volume and then 2 advocates with 100 personal volume who both have 2 customers. And we talked about the average order being 130, right? And so you can see how that breaks down to 840 there. And then you plus 3 advocates. You can just see there's so many different options and ways of making this happen in a relatively short period of time. And we have it all outlined for you.
Okay, I'm jumping in now. That was so great, guys. And I am there's a piece in here too where I'm gonna kick back for you guys to just kind of reshare on these pieces. But I'm gonna talk to you guys about maybe some more, I don't necessarily know. This is how my brain works, so maybe it's creative, but this to me was sort of how I wanted to launch, and I'll share that in here in a minute. But wanted to give you guys some other ideas in terms of how you can kickstart your business and take action on it today. And we'd actually collaborated with like the bigger upline team and asked for some of their input. So one of the ideas that they had shared was a fundraiser, which was something that I had never necessarily thought of, but I thought it was such a great idea. And this might be something to do when you get yourself in position, you're building a team and you've kind of got some rank goals that you want to achieve together as a team. But a fundraiser could be as simple as you've been called to collect or donate products for a bigger cause, and you could ask your team or customers to donate, like to purchase products for, or I think they did it, Jamie, they collected money, right?
And it was more that they collected money. So there was like the one that that Kirsty was using as an example is like for cancer, for people in the hospital going through chemo, they wanted to give everyone at the hospital lip masks because they get really chapped and dehydrated when they're going through cancer treatment. And so as a team, they all went on their social channels, in their emails, in their communities to like raise money to buy lip masks. And so everyone donated money through Venmo and PayPal. That all went to a pool. That pool was then split up amongst the people participating to buy the lip masks through certain accounts to help get to SAV, or when they're working on like a team rank goal. That's how I understood it. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so too. Thank you for clarifying that. But yeah, I thought that was I would probably never would have thought of that. So I thought that was such a fun thing. And I think it'd be really fun for us as a team at some point this year to like do something like that. Find something that, we have a common connection on, or a purposeful place to donate, right? Because how great is it to be able to give back, and then at the same time we can figure out how to help everybody win in their business alongside of that, right? The other piece is gift cards. So I'm going to chat on this a little bit, but then I want Jace to sort of share how she had used gift cards. But you can purchase gift cards in your back office, and the way that it works is that you will get the PV and OV on those immediately. So if you go on and you buy $100 worth of gift cards, you'll get the PV or OV on the purchase. They're not used when then they're claimed. It's used when you purchase them, and you can give the gift cards to whomever. And they're broken down in $10 increments. So you could do a $10 gift card, a $20 gift card, a $50 gift card. You can choose how it is that you want to break those up. And I use these in my launch group, what Jamie was sharing about. I did a launch group too when I first got started. And I think I had 5 $10 gift cards that were up for grabs that I sort of strategically placed throughout the launch party. So I knew people were staying engaged, they were watching, and I wanted them to be commenting and giving feedback. So that was just bumping up the content in the feed, right? So people weren't missing it. And then I just randomly picked one. Actually, I had my kids do it. So I had put names in hats and the kids pulled out a name. Everybody really liked how, I'd go live and then the kids would announce it. So you could do it however that you want. But that is a great way too. And again, that's the investment back in your business. But then you're giving people, so you've got a new customer that's going to use their Hello 10, plus they might have a $10 gift card that's taking $20 off their purchase price. And for me, for a lot of people, that was like the entry into, okay, they may have been on the fence about purchasing, but then they did win the gift card. They basically ended up with $20 off. And that really made things very affordable for them if they had any price objections, so to speak. Jace, do you want to share what you did with that?
You're on mute.
Oh, that's fine. My kid was screaming anyway, so I'm like, well, I guess whatever. I love the gift cards. I think it's such a rad way to really take ownership in your business. Like I was saying, this is one of those things where I'm all about putting your own money and your own investment to work, no matter what you're doing, even if it's in your own product, right? Like you're putting that money to work. I'm doing the routine, I'm using the products. So gift cards were awesome. I actually did a giveaway because it was December and it was like my first month forward facing with the business. And so I was like, I really want to launch my business with a gift. I want to give this product away. I didn't want to like ask for a bunch of sales or like ask for people to invest. I wanted to really hit the ground running with, I'm going to give as much as I can and really just set the tone for my whole business. So I did a little giveaway and, I let them choose 3 products from a list of whatever the winner. But I did like a raffle style thing on Instagram. And then I made a follow-up post and I just surprised with everyone who commented on that surprise, like that pop-up post with a $10 gift card after the raffle had been closed. And that was actually really cool to just be able to like buy $100 worth of gift cards in $10 increments. At the time, we got a $20 gift card for free if we did that. So that was smart. And then I gave 10 people $10 off. And it was 10 brand new people. I'd never talked to them, right? Like I asked some random question about hormones or like, if you were going to buy one of these products, what would it be? And they were like, this is what I would buy. This is what I would buy. This is what I would buy. Again, it was just like gathering information, right? And so then I had an idea of what they would want to purchase, which they already had in their mind. And then I said, here's like free money to go towards that purchase. And then I put an expiration date on the promo code. That was the like real kicker, is that this promo code is valid through 12/31. So that way I could send reminders. I'm all about leverage and using those dates as leverage. So it's just really kind of like what Courtney was saying. It's really leaning into how you naturally operate, what you want to do with this business. Like if you want to give, if you want to sell, if you want to share, if you want to educate, like there's so many different paths you can take. And so if you can't figure out an idea on how to do that, that's when you really lean into us, the leadership, and say, hey, this is what I want to do. And we're experts at brainstorming that stuff and being like, here's your plan. This is what we're going to do. Here's how to maximize that idea. So that's how I did it.
Yeah, thanks, Jace. That I love that, right? And hopefully you guys listening to these ideas is just getting like your brain jogging on all of the actionable ways to lean in and get started. I'm going to share the last piece here is one that I've personally been doing. And I plan to do it for probably the first 6 months of my business, because what it's doing is helping me create a really solid funnel of people to connect with, people that have tried the products, have gotten them in their hands, and maybe the timing just wasn't right for them to like dive fully in, but like I know that they already understand the basis behind the product. So what I started doing, and I did it in December, is I offered a 7-day trial of Hydrate and Detox. So I started just with Hydrate and Detox. It was 7 packets. I sold them for $20 plus, and that included shipping. And so I just went on Amazon and bought like a whole box of these envelopes. And then I did invest in a scale so I don't have to go to the post office. And I'm using Pirate Ship, which Jamie had recommended. And that really is the cheapest way to ship. But it ends up being 7 sticks, ends up being like $3.70. It just depends on where it's going, but I would say that's a pretty good average. So $20, 7 sticks shipped. So yes, you are going to have to buy the bags. This definitely is going to be one of those ones that does take a little more time too. So it's not just an investment on the front end. It is going to be a little bit of a time piece, but you can look, I've just been like pre-packaged. I'm waiting for my shipment to come, but I'm just like pre-packaging bundles. So that way, when I have people that want one, I'm printing off the label at home and I'm sticking it in my mailbox. So I don't have to actually go anywhere. But this is allowing for them to taste it, smell it, try it, right? And I'm setting expectations in the folder. I am also putting a little letter, like a welcome letter from me with like just some background information about Hydrate Detox, what to expect, and managing expectations, because many of my warm market are coming from a space where they're expecting results after 7 days. And I'm trying to manage what they should feel after 7 days, right? Some may feel really big improvements with digestion, bloating. Some may feel nothing, but managing that and to help them understand what the purpose of the product is. And that has been just a great way to open up a bigger conversation too. I also invested in a whole bunch of the body oil samples. So, and just keep in mind with these, you actually don't get PV or OV. There's no volume attached to the body oil samples. So it is just a straight investment. But I will say this has been a pretty good return on my investment. I've had quite a few people order body oil after just trying the one sample. So you package these up, but I'm using that launch party as a place to share. I'm using social media outlets as a place to share. I'm talking about it with my neighbors at the bus stop, and hand delivering, 7-day packets. And I'm packaging them the same way for them as I am for anybody else, because I really am a firm believer on planting seeds of what success looks like. So if they would decide to become an advocate, they would see exactly how the process looked for everybody, not just delivering theirs looking a little bit differently. Not mailing them. I'm actually just delivering them in the envelope. But so hydrate detox. And I chose 7 days because I just felt like for me personally, it took like 5 days to really feel like the digestive differences happening. So I just thought that was a good place. Plus it kept the investment really low for somebody. I feel like if you can keep it under $30, they're going to be more inclined to like jump in and try that versus like $180, $200. It can be a big investment for somebody that's already maybe dealing with some limiting beliefs, or somebody that's like, oh, I've tried everything, and like, they don't know what's in it for them yet. So I just thought this was a really great way for me to fill my funnel. This month I'm actually adjusting it. So I'm going to do 7 sticks of Hydrate Detox, and I'm adding 3 sticks of collagen. And the reason why I'm not doing 7 sticks of collagen is just because, they aren't going to probably see any noticeable differences after 7 days of collagen. It's going to take, like, telling them that that's a consistency one that you definitely need to keep up with. But I want to keep that price point really low for them still too. But you can do this with lots of different things. You can do it with cleansing bars, body oil packets, lip masks, lots of different things. Hold on, I'm getting interrupted by a toddler now. This always happens when it's my turn, guys. She comes on and yes, it's Sky. Okay, where's Dad?
At least she has her pants on, Courtney. It's fine.
I know, she's fully dressed today. I did make sure that I had clothes on her today. Exactly.
I love this too, that you're like, I think I agree that we have to invest in ourselves. You have to spend money to make money. And also you're earning this money back, right? You're earning this money back you're covering those costs by pricing it at a certain point. So I think that that's really, if someone's like, well, that's great in theory, but I really literally can't afford to, like lose money, like you're not losing any money. You're just fronting yourself that investment, and then you're recouping it on the back end and building.
Well, and I think
trust.
like what I think you're saying too, like Jamie, that's where like the leverage comes in, right? If you really do need to like, okay, I'm going to spend $100 in gift cards. I'm going to give these gift cards out. I need them to come back to me by the end of the month. That's when you use that leverage, right? And that's just smart. Like you don't ever want to invest in something that doesn't pay back tenfold, right? Like you're really just trying to shift that mindset and how you're investing and what you're putting the money to work. That's really,
and I think like having those deadlines on those gift cards was key, because my first month I gave a bunch of gift cards away that just didn't put a deadline on them, and some of them bought, some of them didn't, and now I have $50 in gift cards floating out there that are just who knows if they'll ever use them, and maybe they will, but I could have been more strategic with that and had a deadline, or not given them that code yet until they were just about to order. I mean, like, as soon as you're ready to order, I'll give you that code, so that I didn't end up,
I think too, like when you do the deadline, that gift code like doesn't work anymore. So you can give it to someone else. You can reinvest it somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
So like, that's why I did that. I'm like, I have to be able to recoup this investment if it's not taken, right? And it's just, again, this is all just like wrapping your brain around like how to make your money work for you.
And there's oh, go ahead, Court.
Sorry.
No.
And keeping in mind, like this idea, like you were getting your money, you were earning back exactly what it cost you to ship them, for them to purchase the packets. Like if you could sell a retail stick, that's what I was charging, and then also shipping. So like this isn't a moneymaker option. This is a get product in hand, get personal testimonies, create connections, build relationships and trust, because those pieces are really important on the front end, right? And the investment is smaller. And so for me, it's been a very successful way for me to get product in hand. And I've had a really good conversion rate from those first 7 days of people then upgrading to either the full routine or pieces of it, right? And that's what I love about this business is like, I'm not trying to push the whole package on them, right? It's what do you need? What fits your personal goals right now? And hydrate and detox is, you know, it was the only thing we had that was easy to ship. And now we have collagen too. So you can absolutely do both of those. But just kind of keeping in mind, and this goes along with Jace, like you do have to make a little bit of investment. So you could purchase 2 bags and be like, set a goal. Like I want to have 4 people do this trial next month or whatever number it is that you feels good for you. Because I know for me, if I made that investment, I'm going to find some customers to try it for you. And these could be really great, easy conversations for you to have with a friend or a family member or a coworker and be like, hey, would you be willing to try this for 7 days? Here's the cost. I'd love to see how you feel after using this for 7 days. And maybe you could give me some feedback, like kind of keeping it in a very like way that's like I want you to try it, but I would love for you to give me some feedback.
Okay. I know when the collagen sticks launched, I like went SAV just in buying collagen for myself. I was like, I'm buying like tons of bags of collagen because I had the hydrate detox. I'm like, I'm ready to do these trials. So looking at time, we're gonna spend about, let's just say like 5 minutes in a little breakout room. And you'll pick what breakout room that you want to is Becca. So I'm setting these up right now. Actually, someone could explain this while I set these up really fast. I have to assign names.
I can. So Becca is going to do the new advocate. So if you're a new advocate, you're struggling with doubt, let's go to Becca. She's number 2. Breakout room 3 is Courtney. She's going to focus on new advocates wanting to hit SAV for the very first time. Maybe you're partway there, some way there, not even close. That's who you want to go to. I'll be in room 4. That's for advocates who have hit it already one time and want to hit it again. And then Jamie and Jess are going to do the advocates that are pushing for SMT, which is senior mentor, who need SAVs of their own to get there.
Okay, perfect. I'm opening the rooms now. You'll select the room number that you want to go to based off of that criteria. And we'll do this for 5 minutes. I'll end the rooms when we're done. Okay. And if you need me to assign you to a room, unmute and tell me which room I'm assigning you to. You guys got this down.
Five,
Ashley is 5.
please.
Okay. Jen Schumacher, what room are you going to? Jen, what room do you want to go to? Okay, welcome back. I'm sorry. I know this is our pilot test of this training, and it's a little longer than we had anticipated. So sorry to cut that short. But isn't that a fun feature? I love the breakout room piece. So we'll use that on future calls and trainings because I think it's the best way to like really get, as Jason and I are talking this week about, really kinesthetic learning, like really get in there and start like owning that. So we're going to wrap up. Is there any questions about anything? Is anyone feeling really excited or feel a little clearer at least on what your action plan is going to look like to move forward? Ashley, good. Okay. I know, I know we needed a little more time. Okay. Anything come up in any of your breakout rooms, ladies?
Well, we've got Dr. Alma here, who's ready to launch this weekend. Just got all of her stuff. So she's brand new and she's just ripping off that Band-Aid and diving in, which is really exciting.
Okay, so we've got 5 winners so far, and we're gonna wrap up if well, I think Becca is gonna lead a little guided meditation in just a second, but we do have Alma, Ashley Watson, Kim McDonald, Lindsay Kaufman, and Michelle Packard, who was actually very, very active on the live stream, but didn't make it on the Zoom. So I thought we would include her as well. All are getting a gift card. I'm going to just drop those straight into your advocate accounts because that's pretty cool. I can do that. And there are 2 ways you can when I'm going to do the other set of gift cards for anyone who goes SAV between now and Sunday. So when you have, I want you to show your widget. Well, first show me that you're in contention so we can cheer you on. So your assignment is in the live stream in our team page to screenshot your widget, your rank widget that's on your back office. If you know what I'm talking about, raise your hand. If you don't, go to your back office and look. Screenshot, screenshot where you're at now, put it in the comments, and we will cheer you on so we know that you're shooting for this by Sunday night. By the end of Sunday, we'll put your SAV widget back in the chat in the comments of the live stream. Perfect. Some of you guys are already there, are super close. If you're already SAV, then help an SAV under you or do it again. So this was so fun. I'm so glad that we did this, and I'm so glad that you are all here, and a lot of people are watching the recording, so thank you for making the time later. Becca, do you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, okay, so I wanted to leave us out with a little RRT infused guided meditation to take you guys into your day, and hopefully you can carry all of this energy with you to make some momentum start to happen. So I'm Dr. Robinson. I am a consulting hypnotist. I am trained in rapid resolution therapy, which is a mimetic modality for like subconscious nervous system stuff. So if you are someone who finds like executive dysfunction or like nervous system reactivity gets in your way, then this will be especially helpful for you. Hang on, I'm going to turn this to gallery view. So 5 minutes-ish. What I want you to do is just kind of like shake out if you feel like it. If sitting is too much for you, you can stand up, you can sway, you can do whatever you want, whatever feels good to your body. And I'm just going to explain really quick from a nervous system perspective why doubt keeps us stuck, why fear keeps us stuck. It's something that came up in my group too. So while we live in this modern time with these modern bodies and modern problems, we still have the nervous system of our ancestors, like think very animalistic. And that nervous system has not evolved with the rest of our conscious brain. And it hasn't because it does such a good job at keeping us alive. Otherwise, our species would not still be here. So it is really good at its one job, which is just get you away from danger, help you survive danger. And the way that it does that is by any perceived threat. And that's the key word here is perceived. It doesn't have to be something that makes sense to anybody else. If your body perceives it, it's going to react. It's going to kick on this automatic system with or without your conscious mind being a part of it. And once that happens, you can't think your way out of it. You can't mantra your way out of it. You can't positive affirmation your way out of it because your system has been hijacked to a degree. And that's when stuff actually starts to happen physiologically, like cortisol gets put, sometimes adrenaline. I don't know if you guys ever get like that surge in the pit of your stomach that you can feel. And so now we're dealing with something tangible, right? Something that was just in a thought is now affecting your body. And so we're gonna actually help to get rid of some of that. So the thing with fear and all of that is that if there's anything that is tying, asking someone for a sale, following up with someone, reaching out, feeling like somebody's making a judgment on you, any of those things, and that's something that your body's perceiving as a threat, it's going to actually energize you to either flee, to get away from it, or to fight it off. And I don't know about you guys, but there's not a lot of times in my Hue and Grace business when running away from someone is going to be helpful, or like biting them is going to be helpful in any way. So we're like, thank you for your service, nervous system, but this is highly inappropriate for my situation. We need to find a better way. So one of the really cool things about this is, have you guys ever watched a movie and you got so sucked into it that like you started crying, or a commercial or a song? If you have done that, then congratulations. You have the ability to affect your body and your emotional state by just the things that you think about. And because of that, we can make subtle shifts into our body when we do feel these things, just by thinking about things differently. So I want to share with you a guided meditation. It takes 5 minutes and you can use it at any time. In RRT, we call this like a little tune-up. Think of it like strumming a guitar before a show. Your mind is kind of like that guitar. And if something's not working quite right, you don't throw away the guitar. You don't say the guitar's broken. You just tune it up, right? And then you play it and everything works correctly. So that's what we're going to do. So I want you guys to just get in a comfortable spot. Take a couple deep breaths as I'm talking. You can turn off your camera if you're nervous about people looking at you and that's getting in your way. You can stand up and sway. You can walk, whatever feels good. And I want you to think about one tiny cell on your pinky finger on your left hand. Just one of the billions and billions of cells in your body. And all day long, that cell is taking in from the rest of your system what it needs to be able to do its job and function. And it's releasing what it doesn't need. And it's doing this all day long. And it's doing it without you telling it to do it, without you taking care of or managing that system in any way. And so if we could shrink down to cellular size, like magic school bus style, and go down and talk to the cell, we could be like, this is really badass. Like, you're doing all of this stuff and I don't even have to manage it. And the cell would be like, yeah, that's just what I do. Not only me, but all of us. And the crazy thing is, some of us form groups. And then on top of doing it all ourselves, we also manage full systems of your body without you having to do it. And we'd be like, that's crazy. Like, that's so cool. And I really don't have to be a part of it. They'd be like, nope, we do it without you. We don't need your help. And just like that, we can do the same thing with our mind. Our mind and our subconscious can take in what it needs and it can release what it doesn't need, even without us telling it specifically what to do. So what I want you to do is pick a symbol for release, whatever makes you think of release. My favorite is to think of an arrow, shooting an arrow, and it just goes all the way off to the horizon, never stops until you can't see it anymore. Some people like to think of water going down the drain or down the toilet. It can be anything that feels like release to you. I want you to kind of think of that image. What I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you inhale, and I'm going to have you fill your breath all the way up. When you get to the top of your breath, you're going to tell your mind to set the intention to bundle up anything that it doesn't need, just like all those cells do, and attach it to this symbol of release, whether it's put it into the water, put it into a little bundle that we tie onto the arrow, whatever it is for you. And then when I tell you to exhale, you're going to think the word release and you're going to shoot that arrow. You're going to turn on the faucet and you're going to watch as it drains all the way down. And we're going to do this 3 times. Everybody ready? Got your symbol? All right. Big inhale all the way to the top of your breath. As you're doing it, set the intention for mind, subconscious mind, and conscious mind to bundle up whatever is no longer useful for you. Whatever it doesn't need, it knows. You don't even need to know. Imagine your symbol of release. Attach it onto it and let go as you exhale. Watch it go, 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 go. The arrow's floating all the way across the horizon till it's a speck. Now it's not even a speck. The water's swirling down the drain till there's no drop left. Okay, same thing from the bottom of your breath all the way in. Bundle up whatever is not useful, not necessary. We've already gotten everything we could get out of it. Thank you, mind. We're going to attach it to the symbol and watch it go. All right, last one, all the way to the top of your breath, in. Any last little bits, we're sweeping the floor of our mind, getting any little crumbs, attaching it to the symbol. And this time, when you watch it go away, think the word release. And you're going to inhale and think the word free and clear as you take cleansing new breath to fill your lungs. Good job. Okay, you can shake out your shoulders, anything you need to do. I saw some of you guys yawning. That's amazing. That actually is like a symbol in these modalities of you moving some stuff around, which is really, really cool. It's also like if you've ever worked with like Reiki or massage therapists, that kind of thing will happen. And even if you didn't yawn, if you didn't feel anything, it doesn't matter. You don't feel your cells processing either. It still happens even without your needing to be a part of it. So this is something that you can do at any time that you need to, maybe not while you're driving, but any other time that you need it. If you start to feel yourself getting a little worked up, and it helps bring you back to knowing that your body can take care of you. The end. Thank you guys so much. All right, I think we're gonna close out. I think Jamie's already gone. And we're so excited we had you guys with us. Go have an amazing day.
Bye guys, thank you. Thanks, Becca.